You're watching MD90. Subscribe to YouTube channel. Nishiu. The curfew.
So government has issued a statement saying we would register parties with more than one president. Secretary General says government, they are anarchists. So that's a statement that coming from the UPND government, saying they will register parties. In this case, they're referring to the Patriotic Front. There are no other parties that are having those wrangles. So that's a statement coming. If you remember, someone put up an article. Just check out on the community tab where they are saying the UPND government is working deliberately to make sure that the PF is completely dismantled before the 2026 elections. So probably that this headline would feed into that article. It seems like it was standing on solid ground. And then just a couple of hours ago, Edgar Chagalungu had put up a statement addressing Hakainde Hichilema in particular. It also appears on this particular headline, says Hakainde Hichilema's appetite to defile constitution, rape judiciary, alarming Edgar Chagalungu. So according to the news diggers, you can see that headline there just below the anarchists headline. And then what else is there? They also say Patriotic Front members of parliament endorse United Party for National Development candidate in Petauke. So it seems like the Patriotic Front is facing a number of setbacks in the by-elections that are taking place in Petauke during the campaign period. A number of PF structural members have moved to the UPND. So that's what that particular headline is referring to. And then Obvious Maritata also says most politicians are scammers. Maritata warns public. United Party for National Development, Lusaka Province Chairman Obvious Maritata has warned that most people who desire to be in public office are just political scammers. So that's a view coming from the UPND Lusaka Province Chairman, saying most politicians are scammers. Then what does that make him himself if he's a politician? And then he goes further to say in this particular article reported by Kalemba says, meanwhile, UPND leader noted that since the ruling party came into power, parents and guardians are no longer stressed with school fees as they are now investing the money meant for education of their children into viable economic activities. He therefore stated that the Patriotic Fund should not even imagine forming government again. It goes further to say, Monitor added that more than 2 million children are back in school since the United Party for National Development took office. We need to be reminded that with the introduction of free education in Zambia, more than 2 million children are back in school, implying that they were once in school, but their parents could not afford to pay school fees, hence dropping out. But all thanks to our party government through President Hakainde Hichilema working his campaign talk, fulfilling the learning policy, he said, it is therefore illogical for some people to destroy the education sector, hallucinate that they will come back to rule our country. We urge people in Lusaka and the entire nation to be aware of people who desire to public office. Most of them are just political scammers. So that's the statement coming from Maritata there with regard to the PF. And then Pope calls on world leaders to cancel debt of poor nations. So Kasonde Mwenda had put up an article saying Hakainde Hichilema had rejected this help coming from the Vatican, or the Pope in particular, which is the Catholic Church pretty much. So Kasonde Mwenda, who is the EFF president, had said, President Hakainde Hichilema rejects Pope's offer to have Zambia's debt cancelled this Jubilee year 2025, Kasonde Mwenda. So, and then he puts up an article where it tabulates how, in particular, the president had rejected that and the UPND government, that debt cancellation. And then right after that article was published, State House responded. So, which is Amasaka, who's the head of communications there, that side in State House. So he says, Hakainde Hichilema has not rejected Pop's offer on Zambia's debt cancellation, Hamasaka. And then he puts up that headline. And then Kasonde responds saying, State House has responded saying Hakainde Hichilema has not rejected Pop's offer for debt cancellation. But why didn't they tell the nation about the Pop's offer if they did not reject it until we disclosed it? They are not telling the truth. So he says that why should they respond to the previous article that I had shown you that Kasonde Mwenda had put up if they had not rejected the offer in the first place? Because that response that came from Hamasaka and State House was in response to Kasonde Mwenda, according to him. So that was Koboscam area. And then Munia Zulu weighs in on the Petauke by-election, says real suspects won contracts under the previous regime and worked as civil servants are now trying hard to launder themselves in Petauke. Then asked just to exercise our constitutional rights to speak ever in cells and courts. So as you may be aware, him, Munia Zulu, and Nkada Member of Parliament are very close friends to JJ Banda, the Member of Parliament, the independent Member of Parliament who's on the run from Petauke. And they've been trying to go to Petauke to go and campaign for their friend, so the candidate that the JJ Banda endorses and pretty much the Patriotic Front endorses can carry their office and continue. But they say they put up some allegations of challenges that they are facing. So you put up that article there. What is Pembeshe by-election citizen first candidate petition in ECZ over nomination irregularities? So as you may be aware, the Harikalaba's candidate was rejected for having an old voters card, and he has taken the ECZ to court over the same issue to say the elections should be. He says citizen first candidate is in the upcoming Pembeshe parliamentary by-elections has petitioned to Saka High Court to compel Electoral Commission of Zambia to set a new nomination date with properly gazetted timetable. So he said he's been defranchised and he has sued the ECZ pretty much. Let's see how that plays out. And then police arrest 7 Filipinos over orgy with Solwezi girls. So a police operation in Solwezi, Northwestern Province, has resulted in the rescue of over a dozen young females who are allegedly being exploited by foreign nationals from the Philippines at a local lodge. So those are the orgies that are taking place in Solwezi, and the police caught wind of it based off public outcry, or pretty much the public helped in putting out this information out there, and the police acted on it. And then Catholic Archbishop Percy results in Bishop Benjamin Piri urgent to protect him. So the Catholic Church is still involved in politics on the local scene here. Some internal politics happening there. That's in the Must newspaper. And that's the news, ladies and gentlemen.